Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to an art business workshop. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here. I've been doing that going on, I think, almost 7 years now, which means the last 7 years I've been trying to solve the problem that you guys are all trying to solve, which is, how do you leverage modern marketing to actually grow a successful art and/or photography business in today's landscape with COVID and all the other craziness that's happening. In addition to that, been running essentially 3 of these sessions a week since like March of last year. And I run a bunch of these sessions internally with our customers too. So why do I bring that up? I bring that up because I talk to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis than I think just about any human being on the planet. You do that enough, pattern recognition becomes a thing. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. Every problem, every conundrum, every marketing issue, every pricing, niche selection, how to handle prints and signatures and how to market to interior design, literally everything under the sun. Heard it all. And as a final, we have approximately 5,700 customers at Art Storefronts, and we study their data. We study their data very, very intently, meaning on a monthly basis, we will pull out of our database, find out who sold the most originals, who sold the highest price originals, who sold the highest volume of originals. What about commissions? Were they doing them in one-offs, or were they doing them in limited releases? What about prints? Who's selling the most metal prints? What about canvas prints? What about paper prints? What about sizes? And everything under the sun. And having the data of all of those people that is selling is powerful in and of itself. But when you have the data plus the data about what traffic sources are actually driving those sales, it gives us a pretty unique data set, allows us to make some calls that I think, is highly advantageous for our customers, i.e. what traffic sources are actually working to sell art, not the ones everyone's talking about. Like, everyone loves to talk about SEO, like, ooh, I'm going to get my website SEO. I don't really have anyone that's selling a lot of art based on SEO, based on people going to the search engine, typing in bird photography, finding their website, and purchasing, not how art sells. And there's a bunch of different judgment calls that we can make. So I bring that all up to collectively to say, regardless of whether you guys ever decide to do business with Art Storefronts, I want you leaving the call with some value, some things you can potentially bolt into your business, this weekend. That'll take a step in a positive direction towards fulfilling the goals and dreams you have for the business. So, agenda for the show. There's everything that we do, Art Storefronts, as a business, but there's sort of some stuff that we need to get into that's just like a little bit above that. And call them our read on what you need to do to be successful in today's market. Call it the business model. Call it a set of premises that you need to understand to be successful. And we really, really think that is important in terms of understanding this is the best way to start a successful business, regardless if you do business with us or not. Then where we go from there is that we do the demo process at Art Storefronts. It's kind of like the test drive where you get to play with everything, see everything. It's like a 1-hour Zoom call. It's you and someone from our outreach team. The entire thing is customized and tailored to you, your niche, what you do, what would be the most important things, and you get to see all the bells and whistles. So we can talk more about that later. But let's dive right into the presentation at the top of this thing. And then after that, we can get into Q&A. And I would say also that as this presentation rolls along, I'm going to be throwing a bunch of PDFs and links and videos and this and that at you. Don't feel like you need to write anything down or save anything, because once the session is over, we're going to send you guys an email. The email will have the video from today's session. So in case you want to rewind and see something again, and then all the links and all the various different things I mentioned will all be in there. So, all right, we can get rolling. And then too, if you're watching on any of the socials, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, I see your comments. We can pull those right into the show too. So if you've got questions, you can, of course, leave them. All right, so let's get going here on the presentation. So I've created this thing that I call the art selling pyramid. And I 100% believe that this is the path to a successful art business in 2021 and beyond. Like, you don't have to get a whole lot right as long as you don't get a whole lot wrong. If you get this pyramid wrong, I don't know how you make it as a successful artist or photographer in today's day and age. I'm not saying people that do get this wrong, that there's no one that makes it, but the numbers are very, very small. This pyramid, as I'm going to explain it, is absolutely fundamental if you want to stop being a hobbyist and really grow a business or double the size of the business or keep the business growing year over year over year. And why is it a pyramid? I stole it from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And not sure if you're familiar with this, excuse me, but you have to sort the bottom blocks before you sort the top blocks. Maslow's case, we all have physiological needs. We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to do that daily. If we take care of that, we can go the next block up, safety, we can start lifting weights, making money, love, belonging, esteem, self-actualization. Wonderful. Bottom block of the art selling pyramid is attention, okay? Attention, currency of the land that we live in. There is not a single solitary person on this Zoom call that does not need more attention, that does not need more eyeballs on their art or their photography if they want to sell it. Stated another way, you all have a marketing problem. It is the number one problem in this industry, full stop. And no different than Maslow's pyramid in the physiological needs of eating and sleeping being daily, so too, you want to be successful, you have to work on getting more attention on a daily basis, okay? It is fundamental, and how do I know every single solitary person on this call? One, because I have hundreds of these calls a week. Two, because all 5,700 of my customers have an attention problem. It's not something that's ever solved. The people that are knocking on $1 million a year art business, they want to grow that thing to 5. In order to do that, they need more attention. So completely fundamental. And I say this on these calls all the time to kind of take it out of the frame of the art business and then sort of bring it back to the frame of the art business. But if I were to ask you guys, name for me some of the most powerful women on the planet, how would you respond to that? There's obviously a number of ways to answer. The way I answer is it is the Kardashian-Jenner sisters. And while we can all make judgments about how these ladies went about obtaining the attention that they have, what we can't argue about is the fact that they all have 10 to 50 to 100 to $100 million plus businesses, right? Like one of them just started a tequila brand 3 months ago, and I think it's already like a $35 million a year business. And why do I bring that up? I bring that up to say that those gals understand that attention is the currency of the land, and what they've done to monetize it has been absolutely profound. And stated another way to bring it home, if any of those gals, if any of those surgically enhanced, well-endowed women decided to become artists and or photographers tomorrow, they would have a $10 million a year business year one. Year one. Now, is that fair? No. No, it's not. But it underscores the rules of the game, that with attention, you can do anything. Stated another way, the size of an art or a photography business is not a meritocracy on how good the work is. I wish it was. It's not. It is a meritocracy on how good the person is at marketing, about how good it is getting that art or photography in front of people's eyeballs. The best art doesn't win. The best photography doesn't win. The best art or photography that gets seen wins. And that's just the truth of today's day and age. And so that's why you have to understand attention. That's why you all have a marketing problem. Many of you already know this. We'll get more into that later. The next block of the pyramid, after we're working on our attention and we understand that whole rant, you have to understand the business model, and you have to be building a collector list. What is the business model? The business model means you have to be selling direct. There can be no one between you and the end consumer that is purchasing your creations, such that you retain the information on this person, such that you can market to this person in perpetuity and eventually build a collector list, okay? A collector list is just a list of people that have purchased your work. And it's a concept I borrowed, excuse me one second. Gotta grab this. It's a concept I borrowed from this book. It's by Weiland. Fantastic book, by the way. Weiland is the whale guy. Depending on who you talk to, the #1 best-selling artist in the United States. Apparently, it's not even close. This book is fantastic. I recommend you buy it. It is very thin. You have to order it from his website. I'll send you a link. Weiland defines a collector as someone that will purchase in upwards of 8+ pieces of art from him over the course of their lifetime. And, the minimum is 8. Some of these people are 50 pieces. And he just keeps creating and creating and creating. And the collectors just keep coming back and buying and buying and buying. And because Weiland sells direct in all of his various different venues, he knows who's purchasing from him. And so he knows who's going to get onto the collector list. And the minute that they are on the collector list, he treats these people like they're staying at the Four Seasons or the St. Regis. They get the personalized Christmas card. They get personalized emails. He likes and comments on their social media posts. He goes into the tactical about how he treats this list in this book, which is why it's a great read. But in addition to that, I would go as far to say, I've done this for years now. I have everyone's data. You can judge the revenue potential of an art or a photography business based on both the size and the health of the collector list, how often it's been communicated with and taken care of. And it is that fundamental. It is that important. And what ends up happening with a collector list, you come out with 10 pieces of work, and let's just keep the math simple. And it's a new series you're going to release on a Wednesday. And on Sunday night, you email your collector list and you say, hey, patrons and collectors, thank you for your continued support. Because you supported me in the past, I wanted to show you guys before this hit the public market, my brand new series of 10 pieces. Here it is. Hope you're well. Thank you. What ends up happening is your collector list will end up buying some portion of the works that you just created before the public even gets to see them. So you are going to debut 10 pieces of work on a Wednesday. Because you have a collector list, you've now sold 4 or 3 or 2 or 5 of them before it even hits the public, okay? And it is so profound. It is so fundamental to the people that are successful in this business, having this collector list, taking care of this collector list, treating them like they're staying at the Four Seasons, and they will support you for the rest of your life as a result of it. It is the number one most important metric to an art of photography business, full stop. And an interesting way to think about it is, pretty much all of you guys are solopreneurs, right? You are a business of one. You don't have staff or employees for the most part. Maybe you have some gallery representation, fine. But you're really just commissioned salespeople. You create. After you create, it is incumbent upon you to go out and sell. If you sell, you get paid. If you don't, nothing sells, nothing moves, right? So you are a commissioned salesperson at the end of the day. The commission is when the work moves. When you have a collector list, okay, you go from being a commissioned salesperson to being a commissioned salesperson with a base salary. There is a guaranteed salary that you get just for creating, just for showing up and getting out of bed in the morning. And that is the collector list. You continue to produce work all year long. You instantaneously email the collectors ahead of everyone else. They buy the work, and it starts small. It's $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 a year, and then it just goes up from there. And, I've seen it as high with some of my customers. It's like 50, 60%. 60% of what they create is sold before the public even gets to see it, just because they understand how important a collector list is. So really, really important, and we can get more into it later. Once you have the attention sorted, once you have your business model sorted, once you are working on a collector list and building and nurturing it, there are 3 ways to sell art, okay? 3 ways to sell photography. I believe that every artist, every photographer, number 1, needs to be aware of all 3. And then number 2, needs to be leveraging all 3 when the situation calls for it, okay? And what is the best way to sell art? The number 1 way? It's a trick question. You guys already all know this. It's in person, face-to-face. It always has been the best way. It always will be the best way. Problem, though, all of us are geographically fixed on this planet, okay? We all have to sleep, and we're incapable of having 15 conversations at once. So the second way, okay, is on your website. The website solves for all these things. It's very, very important. The third way, and so I should say on the website, you got to have your art up on a website. It has to be able to take credit card and payment so you can sell it. Very few artists have this properly set up this way, so it's important. The third way, the newest way, the most interesting advancement in art or photography sales since forever is exactly what we're doing right now. It is leveraging live video in either a one-to-one or a one-to-many format. Let's talk about the one-to-one first, okay? Let's just say that I follow Carla on Instagram. And Carla posted something, and I thought it was very interesting. And I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful piece. And so I send Carla a direct message on Instagram, which is the messaging feature on there. And I'm like, Carla, I really found one of your latest pieces to be interesting. My wife and I just remodeled a bathroom, and we think one of your pieces might be perfect for there, maybe 2 of them. Do you think we could jump on a Zoom call? Because, I had some questions about what size and what media type or the original, whatever it is. And Carla goes, no problem, Patrick. She sends me a Zoom link. She schedules it. We jump on a Zoom together, no different than the Zoom call that we're on right now. I'm talking directly to Carla. I'm asking her questions about the work. I'm getting to know her. We're bonding. She's holding up the work and merchandising it and explaining to me the different sizes and what's possible. And then Carla's dog comes running in, and I'm like, hey, I have a dog too. And we start bonding, getting to know each other. Extremely powerful. So few artists are doing this. So few. But that's just a one-to-one. Let's talk about the one-to-many, okay? The one-to-many is this concept of a live art show, okay? And I'll pull one up here. I'm on a call, son. Sorry, guys. So this is the concept of a live art show, and it's an artist. And this particular artist's name is Matthew Laka. He's a painter from Canada. He lives in Quebec, and he is in his garage studio, and he has a collection of his older works, and he is streaming this live to Instagram, to his Facebook page, to his Facebook business page, and to YouTube. And you can see there are numbers with the various different pieces. People are able to leave comments in real time. This particular artist, over a 2-day period, or a 15-day period rather, in the middle of COVID, 2 sales, sold 62 pieces for a little bit over $30,000 Canadian. He did not have to leave his house. He took payment in a variety of ways. We can get into that later. And he had a big shipping headache at the end of it. And we saw these results. This was in the middle of COVID about a year ago, so May 22nd, a little bit more than a year and a half ago almost. And we're like, wow, those results are phenomenal. They're insane. I wonder if we can duplicate them. And so what we've done since is we've run hundreds of these.
Really exciting.
And we really believe that we're pioneers in this particular form of leveraging live video for a live art show to sell art or photography. This gal, her name is Meg. She's a painter from Kansas City. She was moving out of one studio space into another studio space. And so she had some excess inventory. She had smaller pieces, color studies, and sketches and stuff out of her notebook. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to run a live art show. We're like, we encourage her to do so. We're going to help her. There were 80 pieces in the show. Remember what I said about the collector list? She emailed her collectors on Sunday. This show is going to run on a Wednesday. The collectors bought 46% of the show before the show even started. I think she sold in total like 68, 69 pieces out of the 80 for a little bit over $12,000 on that show. Since then, we've run these with every type of artist in every part of the country and others, every niche imaginable, every subject matter imaginable. That I already say that, photographers, artists, in between, people that do both, some crafters to a certain regard, and we just keep getting better and better and better and better at it, and learning more and more and more and more about it. And I've been doing this a long time right now, and I will just tell you fundamentally that I have never seen anything that is so effective at selling art or photography in my entire marketing life in this business. And it just works. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why it works, and we can get into the reasons why it works. But I'm completely astounded and continually blown away by how profound of a technique or a tactic that this is to move art or photography. It is the future, full stop. It is the next best thing to being in person. And I can go on for days and wax lyrically about how passionate I am about it, but that's an opinion of one, right? Like, let's look at some others. Your industry, not one that has a ton of reports. There's 2 big ones that come out every single solitary year. This particular one is called the Art Market 2021 report. It's from Art Basel, UBS Global. And as a disclaimer, these reports, and I'm going to send you a link to it, you can check it out after the fact, they really only survey the top 5% of the art and photography market. So figure people selling well over 6 figures, and then some. But this is super interesting, right? Because this is the very top of the market, the very high net worth individuals, the greatest sellers ever. And let me just read from Chapter 5 here on online sales, and I quote, Chapter 5 looks at the online art market and the rapid evolution of sales in 2021. The chapter shows how the dealer sector shifted sales online in 2020 and at the development of online viewing rooms, OVRs. It goes on to explain in here about how all the top dealers and galleries and artist agents and the Sotheby's and the Gagosians and all the rest of them sold a tremendous amount of art over the last year via OVRs. And do you know what an OVR is? It is a fancy, snooty word for a Zoom call. It is just a Zoom call like the one that we are on right now. On one side is either the artist or the gallery owner or the artist agent or the salesperson. On the other side is the high net worth individual, and they are sitting. They get to sit down and be greeted with a presentation on the artwork, and they buy. So my point in that is that it doesn't matter if you are starting at the very, very bottom, having never sold anything, or if you're a seasoned pro at the very, very top. everyone is trying to figure out the best way to leverage live video, okay, to sell art or photography. And you have to be able to wrap your head around the permutations that exist with this right now, right? Like, here you've got my same buddy continues to wear shirts without sleeves. I don't know what his jam is with that, but I always like making fun of him for it. He had a gallery show. So this would have been July 24th of last year. In the height of COVID, Canada was locked down. Pretty much everything was locked down. So he had this gallery show, okay, and a few people were able to come, right? But not everybody. And so what do? The very next day, okay, after the show, I'm really sorry about this, you guys. I am on a call, dude. Get out. No. Sorry. They're not supposed to be home today. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So we ran a live art show the very next day, okay? And it was the next best thing to being in the gallery, right? Like, this is his real show, hung in a real gallery. Again, opening night, no one could travel, masks. So, there wasn't that many people, but the gallery let them go on with it anyway. There's probably only like 20 people that showed up to the opening. So what do? We walked people through the show, no different than if you were there. Here was the artist. He had his glass of wine. He's showing you the works from the show. You're looking at the titles. You got to see which one's sold. You got to see the prices. This one's got a red dot. It's already sold. He's talking about him. He's talking about his inspiration. People are leaving comments. And as a result of this particular show, he moved more of the inventory than sold in the opening night. And it was extremely effective. And it was an incredible video to send to everybody that could not make opening night, that could not travel as a result of COVID and everything else. So there are so many permutations of this, and the entire art selling world is all trying to figure it out at once. And we're way ahead of the curve on this one. And it's not because that we are smarter than anyone else or we are so good at our marketing or any of that nonsense. It's just that we've run more of these than anyone else. And one of the things that I love doing is, like, there are so many moving pieces to these, right? You are streaming, it's live video. You're essentially turning yourself, artist and or photographer, into a full-blown broadcast studio. All of a sudden you're becoming NBC. You do this for any period of time and you learn things, right? I love showing out this one. I had run myself personally with this gentleman probably 15 of these things over the course of last year as we were testing things. And this one was from April 16th, 2021. We're still learning things. Do you notice anything on this? The quality is terrible. You want to know why the quality is terrible? Because his significant other is upstairs streaming Netflix while he's running his show. Okay? Rule number 1, bandwidth when you're broadcasting live is precious. So do not allow your significant other, your kids, to be online chewing up all the bandwidth, right? You learn things. You learn things as you go. But, one of the other things that we learn as we roll along is like, okay, in addition to the bandwidth thing, how are you going to take payment? Where do you want to direct all the people that are watching the show? What about the people that couldn't watch the show live? And I give you, this is one of our new features, and it's a page I designed from scratch myself as a result of running hundreds of these things and realizing what the problem is. You'll notice on this webpage, there's no header. There's nowhere to click. There's nowhere to go. There's a shopping cart and a share button. There's the artist logo. There's the name of the show, some description if you like. This show is now over, and so the video has been thrown onto this page. And below, I can't begin to tell you how rad this page is. You literally grab a folder of images, okay? And do you notice the grid? The images in the show are actually small, right? Like, if I go back up here to the video, when he's actually showing off the pieces, right, they're big. Like, here's the big piece, the one that he's actually selling. But look at how small it is in the thumbnail, right? He took these with his camera because he's a photographer. You could just as easily do it with an iPhone. And you could take a picture of 15 pieces, lean them up against your wall. They're small images like this. You put all of those images in a folder. Boom. You upload them all at once. It instantaneously, my system instantaneously puts them all in a grid for you like this. And all you have to do is go in and title them, price them, and that's it. If you just want to title them and price them, you can do that. If you want to title them and price them and put the size, fantastic. If you want to title them, price them, put the size, and put a description, fantastic. But here they are, all on a grid, all ready to go. So as you're running the show, okay, and you're telling people where to go so that they can purchase, you're not having to say, send me a Venmo, send me a PayPal, send me an email, send me a direct message on Instagram and I'll get back to you after the show. You are taking sales as the show is going. And we developed this really cool slide out shopping cart on the side where they put their card in, first name, last name, boom, pay now, it's done. And what's great is instantaneously the second it's sold, right? And one of the profundities that I've learned in this business over the years, the marketing, is like everything that we do, okay, in this business is attempt to mimic the best way of selling art, right? Like, and the best way of selling art is really no different than a gallery, right? Like, that is the best way to sell art. And so, I go back to this first piece, and it's right. Like, here is a piece inside of a gallery, right? And what do you notice? It's sold, and there's a red dot on there to say it's sold. And so what do? We copy exactly the red dot with the thing that says sold. And it's like, oh yeah, great, Patrick, one tiny little thing, a sold button. Oh, you're so fancy. But you have to understand what this does when you're running your show. When you're running your show, and some people are going to watch the show live. Some people are not going to get to see it until after the fact. And no different than the little red dot here or this one here. What this does, I missed my page. Where did I go? There it is. This sends a signal, okay, to the people that come after it's sold as like, whoa, this artist is hot. Their work is moving. I'd better get in and buy the one that I want right now. So it instantaneously bakes in some FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out, right? In addition to that, sometimes you have the show going on and you're streaming it to Facebook and you're streaming it to YouTube or Instagram, wherever you stream to, and two people want the piece at the same time. And so you know what you say? Guys, it's first come, first served. You can go to the site until there's a sold button on the work. It's still available, right? And so, this was this guy's first show. Never run one before. Kind of nervous, sort of terrified. Didn't know how it was going to go. Reluctant to do so. And I think he sold a little bit over $2,500, $2,600. And there was no reason for the sale other than just to run the sale. And we continue to see results like that again and again and again. The future of selling art or photography, full stop, no joke. So that's the latest and greatest. Let's finish the pyramid. We're working on our attention. We understand the business model, building a collector list. We understand the 3 ways to sell art, and we're leveraging those all the time when applicable. The top of the pyramid is everything else. What do I mean everything else? Let's say that you have a existing gallery relationship, right? And you're getting revenue as a result of it. Now, is that ideal? No, it's not, because you're not maintaining the information on your collectors, right? And you're doing a 50-50 split, but that's okay. It's bringing you revenue. I've never met a revenue source I don't like. So keep that going, right? But in addition to understanding attention, and in addition, sorry, there's 2 of me, I'm button happy today. In addition to the 3 ways to sell art, and no different than if you're in an online gallery, I don't care, Saatchi, Redbubble, Etsy, Fine Art America, whatever, right? In addition to building attention, in addition to the 3 ways of selling art. And so too the show, Thayer circuit, anything else that you have. You get this pyramid right, okay? You get this pyramid right, and you market consistently, the game becomes nothing more than pressure over time. And I think the P word here is so critical, perspective. I talk to hundreds of you guys week in, week out. Many in their 40s, many in their 50s, many in their 60s, many in their 70s, many in their 80s, and I'm not kidding, on a regular basis, a couple times a month, people in their 90s. What that tells me is that you guys are a unique breed. Once an artist, once a photographer, it seems that the die is cast. That is what you are going to be for the rest of your life. You are always going to be creating. And understand how unique a scenario that is, right? Like, this is a business you can potentially run for the rest of your life. Most of you have decades, if not several decades left to get the pyramid right, to start working everything right, to have that thing established and actually be growing the business where you control all the rules. And yeah, I mean, it's just fundamental to see, like, there are so many people that did not understand the pyramid, right? And had a decent business going on, but they did not have a collector list. They were not selling direct. They did not have their art up on the website, and then COVID hit. And what happened? All of the ways that they were selling art were completely ripped out from underneath them. And there was nothing you could do but wait it out, hope those things came back, right? This is the way that you control your own destiny in this business. And if you don't get this pyramid right, and again, don't take it cynically as a sales pitch. I don't care if you do business with us ever. But if you don't get this pyramid right, you are essentially saying, I am going to go into this fist fight, which is trying to build a successful art business for the rest of my life with one or both of my arms tied behind my back. That is how fundamental it is. Like, you want to be successful, it's this and consistent marketing. It's a game of pressure over time. You don't get this right, your odds of success, I would sooner go down and buy a lottery ticket, because the numbers are that small. They're just that small. So that's my story. That is the pyramid. Critically important, literally critically important. So, okay. I think at that point, we can open it up to Q&A. It doesn't look like we have any brave people with their cameras on today, which is totally okay, by the way. I hate being on video. I totally understand. But how can you ask questions? If you look at the bottom of your Zoom bar, there's like a little reactions button, and you can click that, and then what that lets you do is raise your hand. There's a raise hand button. You can see I just clicked it, and that lets me know, hey, you've got a question. I can unmute you. You can ask me about anything. You can ask about anything about the presentation, the collector list, anything that we do at our storefronts, pricing, whatever. Any issues that you might have, any and all questions. That's what this is for. Love to answer. And thanks, Laura. I got your question. So you don't want to turn your camera on? You don't have to turn your camera on. You can do audio only. Totally all good with me. If you want to throw a question into the chat, you can certainly throw a question into the chat. I can answer those. And then, as stated earlier, I see the Facebook and YouTube and Twitter comments. Thank you, Joanna. I'm happy that you're enjoying it. And if you guys got questions, you can fire them away there. But let's start with Laura today. Laura, you're up. You'll have to unmute your mic, and then you can go ahead.
Hey, when you said that you help them out with their video gallery, what did that exactly mean?
So early on, like, you don't need any help at all to get one in the water. Okay, not at all. You can totally run one on your own. It's extremely easy to do, and I can get more into that. But early on, we were just trying to figure things out, right? And so we've gone from, this is the easiest way to explain it. You know, when you learn to ride a bike, like, at first you just take the bike out onto the driveway, and it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter what kind of bike it is. It doesn't matter who's watching, right? You just start riding the bike. You fall down a couple of times. You figure it out. Well, after you've been doing that for a while, the next thing you know, you're jumping off curbs, and you're skidding, and you're trying to do wheelies, and you're riding people on the back. So our sort of newest system and playbook, and I want to show you this because it'll be better interactive, okay? And by the way, I have zero problems giving away all of the tricks, because no one ever does it. It is like one of the most difficult things that I've ever encountered as a business, getting people to get out of their comfort zone and run. It's like death, taxes, public speaking, and running a live art show. It's like the most fierce. But let me show you some of the tactical, because I think you'll find this valuable. Hold on, I got to pull the thing back up. So, and I'm gonna send you the videos. You know, so when you look at these, you'll get a better idea of, you know, what's going on. And many times you'll hear my voice, or you'll hear someone else's voice that's helping them out. But what started out as just a, hey, run a live art show, okay, has since morphed into, how do we get the most reach from it? How do we capture the most attention from it? And so, you know, you can see he's got earbuds in, right? The earbuds are because Instagram, you can't use software to go live on Instagram, right? And so the earbuds and the phone are parked right next to his laptop, and that's what is allowing him to communicate with Instagram and the phone and go live on Instagram. The rest, you know, where you put on these like fancy banners and we're pulling the comments in, we use software to do that. And the software is streaming to his personal Facebook page, it's streaming to his business Facebook page, and it's streaming to his YouTube account, all at the same time, right?
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
So when you put up the banners, so you're behind the scenes doing all of this at the same time?
Yep.
Okay.
But you definitely do not need that to get started and run your first one, right? Like, remember the riding the bike sort of, like, you know, narrative. And I want to show you too. I'm pulling up this one other webpage. Just bear with me 1 second, because it's really, really cool.
Well, I hope my questions are helping everybody else too.
No, 100%. And you're brave, and you're the first one to ask. So I think that's amazing. But I want to show you this, because it's like I'm hoping that you're detecting the passion in my voice as I'm talking about this, right? I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. Okay.
Well, I can tell you're jazzed.
Yeah, 61 pieces for $30,000 Canadian. Okay, this is a guy with 8,547 fans on Facebook, 29,000 followers on Instagram, 9.4K subs on YouTube. Now that's a lot. That's way more than most artists have,
huge.
right? But okay. So just track with me for a second.
Somebody like me,
look,
a newbie.
2.8K fans on Facebook, 7.9 on Instagram, 12,000, one show, 62 pieces. And then this guy, the rock photographer, it was his first show. He had never done this before in his entire life, okay? Not in his entire life. One show, 14 pieces, $2,200. He had 4,900 fans and 4.5 followers. I've seen results in the several thousands of dollars with 1,000 Facebook fans and 1,000 Instagram followers. I've just never seen anything like it. And I want to scroll down. I want to show you guys this because I'm not supposed to be showing you this. It's sort of inside baseball, but my last name is Shanahan. You see this guy's last name? So we're not family, but we're pretty much family, right? But just listen to this.
I just want to give everyone a little hoorah. I did my first live show last night, and I went really great. And I was hesitant at first, but it was fun. It was exciting. Juan was great, and
why is that not showing?
Patrick helped me out tremendously, and I just want to give everyone.
Well, my little presentation denied, but you couldn't see it. But the point is that like you run your first one, and that is exactly what Rob was saying there is what you guys are going to be saying. You're going to be like, I was terrified. Okay. I don't have great marketing acumen. I hate being on camera. I don't have advanced photography equipment. I'm deathly afraid of merchandising or selling, all of the various different things that would prevent you from doing it while you're terrified from doing it. Like if I just push you over the line, oh my gosh, the results that you will get will be fantastic. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm hogging. Go ahead. What else?
So most of my product is all digital. Yep. I do one-offs. Yep. I cannot reproduce them. So to print it out and sell it, then they're literally a one-off.
Yeah, totally fine. Why are they one-off though if they're digital? Why don't you reproduce them, or is that just a?
Because I can't. I mean, I can reproduce the digital obviously when it's done.
Yeah.
But my husband calls me a photo artist. I literally can make a picture look like a painting.
Yes.
So to reproduce every single nuance of what I did is impossible.
Totally get that. But what you sell is the end product that goes on the wall, no?
Right.
Right. So why can't you sell multiple of those?
Oh, I can sell multiple. Yeah. I'm just saying if I did a gallery showing, it would be a one-time print.
Yeah, fine. But you can have a limited edition of 50 of them.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I get that.
And then also too, let me grab something here because I want to show this. One of the things that infuriates me, perturbs me to no end, and it's with good reason, is, especially with you digital artists, like if I went to your Instagram page right now, or if I went to your Facebook page, would I just see 2D image after 2D image after 2D image? I don't know. The odds are very high that I would. What every artist, every photographer needs to understand, it's a little bit easier for painters because they have the originals, but you're not selling 2D images. You're selling something like this. It's real.
Right.
It can hang on the wall, right? And like, the analogy I always give is like, okay, Laura, if I just hired you to go door to door and sell knives, what would you take with you as you were knocking on the doors?
It wouldn't be spoons.
It wouldn't be spoons, and it wouldn't be pictures of knives. It would be the knives, right? So that you could show them. So, you have to be able to do that as a digital artist. But what's great is like for you, I would run a show with your top 10 pieces. I would say I'm having a flash sale. There is going to be a limited edition of 10 each at this price. And I would get a tiny little print of each one. That's it. It does not need to be big. You want to know why? Because every camera has a zoom feature on it. Check the zoom feature. It's really sophisticated. Whoa.
Yeah. Got it.
And I have a green screen, so it's making this thing look a little circusy. But anyway, you could go this small. Do you know how cheap this thing is? It's like $25, a metal print like this. Maybe it's $30. And it's like,
good point.
Yes. So you could do it, right? Like it's not even expensive. It's not even expensive. So yeah, that's
okay. You sold me.
Good. I'm stoked I sold you.
So I've gotten, and I know I'm off the beaten track here, but I've gotten a number of emails saying, hey, go see this video, go see that video, but nobody's throwing the punch saying this is your investment. This is the financial. How do I get that information?
Yep. You would go through the demo, but I can sort of explain how we do pricing. So, you know, one of the things that we learned early on as a business, and it'll help you understand the pricing if I just explain the story, that we realized is, you know, artists and photographers don't have website problems. You don't have a website problem. You don't have a website problem, Laura. Meaning, if I was a genie and I just came out of the lamp and I said, Laura, your one wish, I'm going to grant it. I will take your website and have it set up anywhere, any platform you want tomorrow. Do you know what would change in your art business? Nothing. Because no one's coming to your website. You don't have a website problem. You have a marketing problem. So, you know.
That's been my problem for 13 years.
It's every single solitary artist and photographer, period. 100% of them have a marketing problem. And so, you know, like one of the stats that I love to cite is Shopify, which, by the way, is the biggest company in Canada. It's an e-commerce provider. They have this stat that says like 99% of Shopify customers fail. And it's not a knock on Shopify. Their product is great. It's the fact that everyone thinks that, oh, if you build it, they will come. I just throw my stuff up on a website and it works, right? And so what do you see a history of artists doing? Trying out one website platform, another website platform, a marketplace, uploading stuff here, uploading stuff there, and nothing ever happens.
And then you lose track.
Because you're not solving the real problem. Until you solve the problem, which is the marketing, you're not going to get there. So do we have the best website software out there? Period. It's not even close. We've been doing this longer than anyone else. This is our niche. This is all that we do. But it doesn't matter. It's a Ferrari without any gas in the tank, right? So yes, we provide a website like everyone else. Yes, we charge a monthly fee. But if we want successful customers, we have to fix the marketing problem. How did we decide to do that? We are essentially at this juncture a full-blown art business university. We offer graduate degrees in art, in photo marketing, and business. And there's really actually no graduates because the learning never stops because the doggone goalpost constantly moves. So we tell you what to do all year long in terms of your marketing. We give you email templates and what to put on Facebook and how to run a sale and how to do the pricing. And we have playbooks, which are essentially DIY, do-it-yourself, learn at your own pace, digital education on all of the available things. Then 2 days a week, we throw the entire customer base in Zoom calls like this, and we essentially run university-style classes. Here's what we're doing this week, and then we do Q&A on the tail end of it, right? And so that's what we end up doing, and that's, you know, there's a bunch of other bells and whistles in there, and so that's how we solve the marketing problem. Now, to do all that, to pay for all that, to have all the staff, everyone there to support you for the rest of your life as a customer, we charge essentially like an initiation fee. It's sort of like a tuition fee that you pay once, and it starts at $900 and it goes up, or $999, whatever we price it at, and it goes up from there. And like the website is $49. There's different packages, but it doesn't matter what plan you're on. Every one of them gets 100% of the marketing training for life, And so, you know, when I talked about the perspective early on, like, 1, we have to teach you how to market. That's going to take some time. 2, we have to get you to do it consistently, and no one ever does it consistently. And so that's how we handle the pricing. But what we do is you get the demo, you get all the pricing questions asked. They know all the rest of that. They'll take you through the whole tour, the 1-hour dog and pony show of all the bells and whistles and everything that we have. And then you can make your mind up.
Okay.
But I will also,
Patrick, thank you.
Yeah. I will also send you, and I already know I have your email. So I was going to launch, and someone was asking me about this on, Yonko was on YouTube. I was going to launch this massive contest, okay, this week. And there's some reasons that I can't do it. And guess what the massive contest is? Surprise, surprise. And I started showing the webpage here, so I'll just show it to you. I'm going to send this to you, okay? I'm not supposed to send it to everybody. I'm going to send it to you because I want you to do one. Let me get this out of the way. So the whole thing is how to run live art shows in 2021, a quick start guide, right? And I've got the how, the why, real results, real artists, kind of like I showed you, quick edits of their show so you can get some ideas, right? And then I explain all the reasons why this is like the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I've got this guide, okay? The guide is like detailed step-by-step videos on how to do every single solitary step of the process, the equipment you need, inventory and pricing, how to get paid, where to stream the show, the actual show, how to announce the show, what to do after, and then some actual shows that you can watch from start to finish to like get a feel for it.
That's amazing content. I
want you to do one, Laura, and I want you to send it to me.
Okay.
This weekend. Right? No. You see what I mean? That's like the kind of poking and prodding that we do. But yeah. We'll yeah, if you want, I'll have somebody on the team reach out to you, do the demo,
Yeah.
see all the bells and whistles, see what you think, and then make your mind up. But either way, I'm going to send you that guide. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Good questions.
Well,
Thank you.
I have to say that with COVID hitting, and my opinions about COVID are very personal, but
yes.
but with COVID hitting and you can't really reach out and touch somebody. I remember after COVID finally opened up and you could reach out and shake somebody's hand again, it felt weird.
Totally felt weird.
Okay.
Yep.
So now it's like, I don't know you from Adam, but after talking to you for 10, 15 minutes, there's a relationship. 100%. And I never thought that would really happen over video.
I know.
So this is cool.
I know. It is.
I mean, I've had Zoom calls with my dad or close friends, but not someone that I've never met in my life. So this, now I understand.
100%. And then not only that, like, you know, live art shows. Okay, fantastic, great, right? Like,
right.
What COVID has done, okay, is taken a technology that has been around for a long, long time. Nothing new, video, right? Zoom calls were happening well before COVID, but it's sort of now had like its second renaissance in its moment in the sun. And what you find, you know, underpinning so much of what I'm saying with these live art shows is the live video is just a catalyst. Okay, it speeds up a chemical reaction, and the chemical reaction for us art storefronts is how quickly can we get people interested in our product? How quickly can we get them to know, like, and trust us, that we know what we're talking about? We're not BS artists or scamsters, right? All of that. And, you know, all of us in this like new digital world, we tend to think that like, oh, we're just going to put our stuff out there and we're going to forget the human relational aspect of eye-to-eye contact and having conversations and getting to meet people. And we're just going to throw it all out there and people are magically going to come and buy it, right? Like nothing could be further from the truth. And so what video does in the selling art context, or for us, you know, trying to get new customer context, is it takes something that would have taken months, and the catalyst speeds the reaction up, and it just increases the speed at which the whole thing gets done, right? And so it is so profoundly powerful. And look, the best way is always going to be in person, face to face. But guess what? The next best way is? It's this. And guess what? It's not just us that's figuring this out. Amazon now allows anyone to come on and essentially be full-time QVC people. You can pick what Amazon products you have. You can run your own QVC commercial, your own QVC streaming show on Amazon. And Facebook is now partnering with all the makeup companies in a beta project in which the makeup influencers come on. They talk about the thing. You can one-click buy it right there. This has been going on in China, video-enabled commerce, for quite some time. And we are about to see a renaissance. And God forbid this Delta variant comes back and we go into some stage of lockdown, which all signs are pointing to. What do you think is going to be the most effective way all throughout that COVID to sell?
You got to pivot.
This. Yeah, it's going to be this.
Well, I'm going to give the floor to Tina.
Okay. Well,
so she's been waiting patiently. So
okay.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll get in touch. Bye. Okay, I don't know where Gina ranks in the queue, or Tina or Gina. Juan, tell me where she ranks in the queue. But otherwise, I go by the hands up, and I know Ollie, and then Thomas, and then Greg. But you know, maybe Tina. What, say that?
She asked a long time ago. So yeah, let's get Tina first.
Okay, I'll get Tina first.
It's a question in the chat.
Yep, go ahead, Tina. And it looks like your mic's unmuted, Tina. We can hear you.
Okay, I was just wondering how, if you have any suggestions, how you get on a collector's list, or how you build a collector's list.
Yeah, wonderful. Great question. So early on, we use the tried and true fake it until you make it technique. And what that looks like is anybody that is on your email list is your collector list to start. And so what will happen in the same analogy that I used before, I mean, it takes time to build a collector list, of course, right? And like Wyland's example, like 8+ pieces of work. Okay, well, that's going to take many of you a great long time to get there, right? He's in rarefied atmosphere. So early on, it's just the people that you're on your email list, and you treat them exactly the same way. And let's say you have 50 people on your email list, and you're going to come out with those same 10 pieces, and it's going to be on a Wednesday that you're debuting it to the public. And you email the email list on Sunday, and you're like, hey, guys, is a way of saying thanks for being on my email list and supporting me. I wanted to give you a look at my brand new collection that I'm releasing to the public on Wednesday. Now, secretly, here's where the fake it until you make it thing comes. You know, Tina, I know that when you release that on Wednesday, there's not a huge public that's going to see it. It's pretty much everyone on your email list, right? But you don't worry about that. They don't know that. And that's how you do it. And so you just treat them awesome. And that's how it starts. And then as soon as somebody purchases, you take extra time, special time on that one person, and rinse and repeat. And that's how it goes. And that's how it grows.
I guess I need to work on building an email list because I don't send a lot of emails.
Mm-hmm. You do. It's fundamental of marketing, right? Like, you know, it's what we teach, right? Like, number one, you need to learn how to capture emails. Number two, you need to email those emails. You need to do that on a regular basis. Number three, you need to learn how to run a sale and all the mechanics of a sale, how to tease a sale, how to announce a sale, how to approach the discounting, how to make sure that the sale has both discount and scarcity. The discount is the money off, percentage off, free shipping. The scarcity is sales ending Friday, right? Then I got to teach you omni-channel marketing and how you make your email message dovetail with your Facebook post, dovetail with your Instagram post, such that you get the maximum ROI from one marketing effort. All of these things that you need to learn. It's, if you want to be successful in today's day and age, that's marketing is the ball game, right? So yeah, it's all part and parcel of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, Tina. Good questions. Okay, next up is Ollie. Then it's going to go Thomas. Then it's going to go Greg. Go ahead, Ollie.
My question to you is, I am a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
I do competitions.
Okay.
I won in international competitions.
Awesome.
I really haven't built a email list as much as I have a number of people, and it's not a very large number of people who follow me on. Okay. So my first question is, do I stop posting photographs to Facebook?
No, absolutely not. You definitely still need to use Facebook to market. It's very, very important. That's, you know, marketing. The analogy that I love to give is, if we were in the fishing business, you and I, Ollie, we would wake up in the morning, go down to the boat, and we would drive the boat to where the fish are, right, or to where we think the fish are. So when you're in the marketing business, we go down to the dock and we drive the boat to where the attention is. And you have to be contrarian about that. Right now, Facebook and Instagram have it in abundance over the other platforms. So they're two of the most important areas to market in. So no, I would not stop.
Okay. So second question is, I had this company several months ago actually build a web page for me. I wasn't totally happy with it, but it's there and it's paid for. Okay.
Yep.
I have not posted any picture to the site because I'm just not happy with it.
Yep.
Okay. So from your presentation, I think I'm beginning to understand that the website perhaps needs to be of a different genre, is the best word I'm going to use at this point.
Yes and no, right? Like, okay, so you have a website right now, right? And it's not doing anything. It's not selling anything for you.
Right, I don't have anything posted there.
Yeah, the reason is because you don't have a website problem, Ollie. You have a marketing problem, right? Like, you know, another simple way to think about it is like, you're a good cook, Ollie. You have a great restaurant. You can move that restaurant from one place to another, and you can change the decor and, you know, do whatever you want to do. But there's nobody inside the restaurant. We have to fix that problem first, right? And then you can have a website problem. So that's the long and the short of it. You have a marketing problem, right? Like that's what we fix. That's what we fix.
Okay, so then I guess after the presentation, we'll get a link or someone to get in contact with us, and we'll talk about the best way how to fix that.
Yep. And don't even worry about it, Ollie. We'll reach out to you because I got your email address when you signed up for this thing. So one less thing for you to have to worry about. But you know, one of the things that I love, Ollie, it's like, and I hear this all the time in various different contexts, and some of it's like, everyone tells me my work is wonderful, right? And that I need to start selling it. I post on Facebook and I get all these likes and these comments and these shares, right? Or my art got into a juried exhibition, right? Or my photography made it into a show and I won awards, like you said, right? And you know what I answer every single solitary time? Ollie, if I came to your house right now and picked you up, drove to the local ATM, you show me the button on the ATM machine for everyone told me my work is awesome. Or the button on the ATM machine for shares, likes, and comments. Or the button on the ATM machine that says my show is a juried show. Or the button on the ATM machine for I won an award, right? Doesn't translate, right? The only button on the ATM machine that actually works is the one that spits out dollars, and those come from sales, right? Those come from sales. And so it's very helpful that you've won an award. You're obviously a very talented photographer, but again, that's not enough, right? The best photography does not win. The best photography that gets seen wins. We got to fix your marketing problem. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Eli. Okay, Thomas, you are up next. Go ahead, Thomas. And you'll need to yep, gotcha.
Yeah. So greetings. Yeah, a lot of questions have been answered. I sometimes go into these things skeptically because it's like, okay, what are you going to sell me?
Yeah, of course, as you should.
Feel the pressure. And, but initially, when I read some reviews and comments, it's like, you're no more than a middleman for a printing company, or something of that nature. And so my question is, okay, I do photography. Who does the printing when these things are sold?
Yep.
And how do you get your signature on this printing that's original versus just some sort of digital stamp?
Yep.
And, because it's like, okay, I want to make sure this print meets my standards. I don't want some companies shipping off something and it looks like shit. I just don't want that to happen.
Yep.
So it ruins your sense of authenticity or something.
Yep. 100%. So, okay, let's start at the top. So one, the questions with the reviews. Yeah, we get our detractors like anyone else. We get people that are frustrated all the time about how we do business, about we email too much, or about the fact that we don't publish our pricing on our websites, right? And so, we get some wonky reviews here or there. But what's a little bit different about us is, one, reviews are open on our Facebook page, and anyone can leave a review. And a great little hack that many people are not aware of. Most companies don't turn reviews on their Facebook page because anyone can leave one and it can turn into a big messy situation. But one of the incredible things is, we all understand Amazon, right? And we all understand how Amazon works. You go and you look at the reviews and what happens in Amazon. If you see a product that has nothing but perfect reviews, something's not right? Because there's always a detractor here or there. We'll tie it back to Facebook. One of the interesting things about Facebook is you can go onto that Facebook page and you can look at the reviews and you can send these people messages directly. Hey, what do you think about art storefronts, right? Like what kind of business it is. That's number one. Number two, we have as a business one of the highest retention rates that anyone has ever seen. Every single solitary person that looks at our retention rate is like, how in the world are you doing that? Meaning, once you become a customer, nobody ever cancels. Nobody ever cancels because our service is phenomenal, and we stand behind it. So I say that just to say that, but again, do your due diligence. I'm not trying to give you a sales pitch. In terms of the prints, we partner with two domestically in the United States. One is Bay Photo on the West Coast. The other is Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. They are both massive businesses. They both have all the same printers, all the same inks, every media type imaginable, and phenomenal customer service. And so in terms of print permanence, in terms of the quality of the prints, they are two of the best vendors in the entire United States by far, and they didn't get that way by putting out crappy prints, right? So the print and the print quality and the print permanence and all of that is zero issue whatsoever. That's number two. In terms of signing, and let me speak to your other one too. Whatever that original, like, oh, they're just a middleman for a print company. Nothing could be further than the truth. One, the pricing that you get at both of these institutions is better pricing than if you walked off the street and just went into Bay Photo and said, hey, I want to order this. Number two, it's completely POD, meaning you sign up, you integrate with one or the other, whichever one you like, doesn't matter to us. An order comes into your website. You have your own merchant account. Instantaneously, you get paid. Instantaneously, the printer gets paid. The printer prints the order. The printer boxes the order. The printer slaps your logo on the side of the box, and they ship it. You touch nothing in that entire process at all. And that is one of the fundamentally most important things that we can do for our customers, because guess what? Any amount of time that you spend trying to do the printing on your own, any amount of time you spend driving down and looking at proofs, any amount of time you spend with the correspondence and admin back and forth, and then God forbid you have to drive something to the post office or FedEx and send people tracking numbers, all of that is not time you're spending on your marketing. All of that is time you're not doing anything that's actually fundamentally growing the business. And so the POD portion is very important. The signature piece. So a couple of different ways to do this. Here's what I recommend, which is to say you can do it whatever way you want. Here's the guidelines that I give. What I see ordinarily is It's best to offer no signature at all, cheaper price, potentially a digital signature on all of them, and then a hand-signed, signature, oftentimes limited edition, for a more expensive price. And what you find is that there are certain people that could care less about the signature. They just don't care. They want the cheapest price, and so you have a product for them. There are some people that absolutely want the signature. If they want the signature, fantastic. Charge a little bit extra for it. And what happens is that you put the order in on your website. Instead of going to the customer, the order comes directly to you. You take it out of their perfect packaging. Like, the way they package these things is amazing. You slide it out, you sign it, you seal it back up, put it back in, slap a new logo, off it goes. But you have an additional shipping charge there, right? So you charge extra for it. So that's the way the majority of our customers do it. Some people sign every single solitary one. They bake it into the price. So it's different strokes for different folks. But if it's me, it's my store, I'm doing no signature, digital signature, and hand signed for an additional price. And then you just let them decide. And it's up to them, right?
Yeah, that sounds great. So this is maybe a little more. Okay, I have a little show at a coffee shop now.
Okay.
And I'm going to close it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Instead of an opening reception, I have a closing reception.
Okay.
I haven't promoted it yet. Is it too soon to try to get a video thing going with you guys in 2 weeks?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could get it going in 24 hours. You don't even need the website set up to do it. Like, okay. I literally, it is so easy to do with some direct guidance, but in terms of the closing ceremony, this is what I'm more concerned about. Okay. You are going to obviously have all the work for sale. You are going to get a fishbowl and or a clipboard set up with some balloons on it. If the coffee shop will let you, you have to color inside the coffee shop lines, right? But I want you to do a closing print giveaway, okay? And I want the print to be metal or acrylic, depending on what you like. Doesn't need to be huge. Just pick one of your images. And how to enter to win, all they have to do is drop a business card in the fishbowl or fill out the clipboard, okay? And what happens is that you run that contest. All of those people that are in the coffee shop that have been seeing your work, that like it, might potentially put their name on that list. You don't even need to be there for that to happen. All of a sudden, you've started building an email list. Then the show ends, you close it down, you have an email list, you go and pick a winner. You say, guys, thank you so much for entering the contest. So-and-so is the winner. Let me know where I can ship the print. And for the rest of you, I am so sorry you didn't win. Just to let you know, I'm offering 20% off the entire collection. If you wanted to pick one up and you just didn't get a chance to do it, sale ends Friday at midnight, right? There you go. Rinse and repeat. That's how you get the most ROI out of that.
What is ROI?
Return on investment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All these little pseudonyms.
I know.
I learned POD a long time ago for that ROIs. So.
Yeah.
And what's search engine? Is that SEO? Is that
that's SEO, search engine optimization. But thankfully, you don't have to learn. You don't have to take that one right out of your head because it doesn't work, and you don't even need to spend a minute on it.
That's good to know.
Yeah, one less.
Okay, my last question. I know this is one, but you have a lot of ads on Facebook. So I thought maybe you were a Facebook company or subsidized by Facebook.
No, we are the opposite of subsidized by Facebook. We are in the making Mark Zuckerberg rich business. We have to pay for those ads.
All right. Well, I look forward to hearing more about your products and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you should get a demo too. And just as a final, Thomas, because I'm curious, what media types are you offering currently for your work?
Well, I don't really pursue sales or anything because I just do it more. I was a teacher. I used to be a photojournalist. And so it's more about just kind of like hanging out with people that want to hang out with. And it's like maybe turning some of the stuff into little books and mm-hmm. having giveaways or selling little books, mm-hmm. because nobody has wall space that I know of. Everybody's filled out, it seems like. And even my own shoulders. Like
utter, total, complete nonsense, that one, Thomas. I'm going to take that one right off your plate. So what happened is COVID came along. And as a result of COVID coming along, art and photography sales got grouped into the windfall that is everything that happened with home decor and how it exploded. And it's a combination of a bunch of different things. One, it's people being inside their homes way more than they ever were before, right? Not going back to work, working from home. It's in large combination, people going, get me the hell out of this urban city and getting a bigger home, right? Also a large portion of it. And so what happened as a result of that is people were finally sick enough of the wall space that they did have to do something about it, right? And so if you look at what's happened to art and photography sales, they've exploded. They have exploded over the last period of like a year and a half. So do not give yourself the excuse that everyone's walls are full, okay? That is nonsense. Stop it. Don't do that. It's self-defeating. It has actually never been a better time to sell. And we're coming up on Q4. Q4, traditionally, by which I mean fourth quarter, another acronym. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday buying season, Christmas, traditionally, okay, is the highest selling quarter of art sales that exists, period, full stop. For a lot of our customers, they will sell more in the fourth quarter than the other 3 quarters of the year combined, right? So now is the time to get it up. Now is the time to start hammering the marketing, and it's go time, right? And again, I'm an eternal optimist. I really hope that between vaccinations and whatever else, we're going to kick this thing's ass. But if it comes back, okay, and the winter months bring everyone back into lockdown, the artist, the photographer, and this is not a sales pitch, you don't have to sign up with us to do this, that is working on their marketing now, okay, that is working on that email list, that is starting to post regularly on the socials, if you do that, okay, coming into Q4, and everybody goes into lockdown again, it is going to be another tremendous time for art sales, and I want everyone set up, understanding how important this is, and winning. So that's the end of my pitch.
Well, thank you. That's a good pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Okay, Greg, you're up next. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, hi, Patrick and participants. Thanks. Hey, I just had a question. So I do original watercolor digital paintings from my photography. I have a website and a URL, and so I've been using that. I was wondering, can I, and I have a marketing problem. It's what I don't understand. So can I purchase art storefronts marketing advice without actually using their, website and continue with my own website?
Yeah, you totally could. What ends up happening in those scenarios, though, is, I mean, does your website currently, and notwithstanding the, no artist or photographer ever wants to set up a new website. You guys hate it. Trust me, I get it. I hate it too. I hate it too. Just the thought of it is like, terrifying. But does it serve other functions aside from just attempting to sell your work and show it?
No, it's a smug mug site, and I've got it customized to my own URL. So all the buying tools are there and everything like that.
100%.
So I just don't understand marketing, which is why I'm on this call. And that's, this has been my hobby. And so I want to take it a little further and, be a little bit more proactive. So great.
Yep. I get it. So what would end up happening is, and of course you could just use the marketing, right? And you could apply it to your current site, but
correct.
The marketing and the tools that we use and provide are so deeply baked into the website that what would end up happening is you would sign up, you'd start to use the marketing advice, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have that on my website. What am I doing? And then you would end up moving. But let's just say your website was gregcoleman.com, right? And that pointed it to the Smug Mug site. You could put the art storefront site at store.gregcoleman.com, right? And we have a ton of people that are photographers that do this, and I might as well do the show and tell because it makes it a little bit more real. So let me just pull up a website. So we've got a guy who's, and again, this happens in photography like quite a bit because you've got photographers that are, big stock image collections, or they have like a service component to their business, right? And so here's a guy that's on our platform. His name's Tim Lehman. He's like a Nat Geo, wildlife guy, right? And so you can see he's got timlehman.com. This is his normal site. And then when you click on Fine Art, you can see the URL changes to Tim Lehman Fine Art. You can do it any which way you want. And this is where he actually has his store, right? But he still has like a ton going on here, in terms of like home projects, portfolios, all of that type of jazz. So, you could do it that way, right? But the point is what you're missing in the entire situation, and I'm going to give you a for instance. Everyone understands an Apple store. Pretty much everyone's been into an Apple store, so that's the analogy I use. We have a feature called Art Buyer AI, and what it is essentially is it's a line of code that tracks your visitors, okay? And the easiest way to think of it is, let's get away from code and tracking and all that nonsense. It's just a video camera in your Apple store, right? And so I walk into your store, Greg, and your camera sees me walking into your store, and it sees me go up to the iPhone, and I look at the iPhone, and I play with it, I put it down. And then it sees me play with the iPad and then set it down. And then it sees me play with the MacBook Air and then sets it down. I buy the iPhone and I leave. Instantaneously, our system notifies you. And it says, Greg, Patrick just walked into the store. He looked at the iPad. He looked at the MacBook Air. He bought the iPhone. Here's the message that we think you should send him. Boom, it pops up and the message is already written. And it says, hey, Patrick, thank you so much for your purchase of the iPhone. I can't wait to ship it to you. I couldn't help but notice you also checked out the iPad and you also checked out the Mac AirBook Pro. Turns out we have a first-time customer bundle price, and you could have taken a bunch off those two things. I'm not sure if you were aware of that or not, so I figured I would reach out and let you know. If that's something you're interested in, let me know, and we can talk about it. Otherwise, can't wait to ship it. Thanks again for the order. And then you have a little send button. Do you want to send it? Do you want to edit the text? So we have a whole bunch of features like that that are baked into our product, and you wouldn't be getting the full value of it. So can you just do the marketing stuff? Absolutely. Do I think you would end up switching to the website? Yes. Do I know how stressful you can even contemplate moving what you had at SmugMug for years and years and years? Yeah, I totally get that too. So I understand. I understand.
Right. Yeah, so if you could email me the details on that, that would be great.
100%. We'll have somebody reach out.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Patrick.
Okay, I got to get Carla next. Where did Carla go? She's gone, I think. Yep, I think we lost her. Well, we'll have to email Carla. Okay, any other questions? Guys, comments on a Friday? Let me know. Otherwise, what else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I forgot. Good session today. I always enjoy the Fridays. But yeah, any other questions, you can throw them in the chat or you can raise your hand. Be happy to bring you on a Friday. Anyone that's hanging around, trying to figure it out. Like I said, I'll email you this video after the fact, all the links and stuff so you can watch or click on any of those things. And I see your question, Melina. I'll grab you in just a sec. Let me get you. Okay, Melina, go ahead. You can't unmute because I have to unmute you first, but you can unmute now.
Oh, awesome. I just wanted to say hello, and I am I found you this morning, and I'm just stunned that you have everything I'm looking for.
Awesome.
And so I've waited many years. I wouldn't say I waited. That's more like my own delay, but also it's part of because nobody answered all these questions as far as the needs. Mm-hmm. Because I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, everything you're saying just rings so true about marketing.
Oh, it's true. It's just truth. Yeah, it's just 100% truth. It just is.
And then your fulfillment. And so, but I'm such a novice. I mean, I'm such a, what's the word? Just, I'm a homemaker.
Yeah.
And so I'm just praying I could afford you guys whatever it cost. Again, I haven't read much. I only did half of the video that you guys sent. But
you said you found us today. How'd you find us, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I think I saved a link yesterday, which I do a lot of. Mm-hmm. And so, in other words, I've done a lot of, let's say, perusing and looking and skimming and just, but never feeling like it was aligned with what I knew as a homemaker I needed it to be.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of things where, of course, it didn't go anywhere because it's just lost.
Yeah.
And so there was no way I was going to be able to, become my own, factory, if you will.
Yes.
So I'm just really, really pleased. And, I'll have to look at more of your information as far as what I need to do, how do you start?
Yes.
But when you mention logo and that kind of thing, do you guys do that too?
We'll advise you on how to get a logo, yes, and we teach you pretty much how to do everything. The logo process is really pretty simple.
My question is more like I have one, and I get you. We can always But what I'm saying, as far as what you guys do, it's just about, it's everything, it seems. And if you don't have it in house, you know, would you help us to get it somewhere else?
Yeah, well, yeah, we teach it. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just really pleased, and I just really appreciate, you know, your time, because you really are informed. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've got the gray hairs now. I've been doing this for a while. You know, you pattern recognition becomes real. Like I don't know if you were at the beginning of the call. I say all that, but boy, it's just so true. For whatever reason, whether you believe in God or whatever you believe in, like, you know, the Venn diagram, right? The Venn diagram of the creator's brain and the marketing brain, like the overlap is just, there's not that much overlap for whatever reason. Yeah. And that's what we fix. That's what we fix.
And then lastly is the pandemic, you know, is this, well, actually, I'd like to call it the great change.
Yeah.
This is massive what's happening. Yes. In that I don't think people realize is just how much the dramatic change has occurred. People aren't really going back to their old jobs. Yeah. I can go on with what's the changes.
Oh, I can tell you right now that essentially 10 years of e-commerce penetration and growth, meaning, you know, the total percentage of commerce that is done in a retail capacity versus the total percentage of commerce that's done online. So e-commerce penetration. So 10 years of growth happened in 7 weeks. 10 years of normal growth happened in 7 weeks over the course of the pandemic. And let me tell you, nobody's going back. Nobody's going back. Yeah.
It feels great, because imagine, it feels like, in other words, now people really can become their own CEO, if you will. It's more possible than ever.
Yes.
And it's more acceptable. It's more legitimate. It's more, because now you can even, what can't we Zoom?
Yeah.
You know, what can't we, international.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So, yeah.
And like, I showed, and I say this all the time. It's like, this is truly the age of the artist. And I go back to my buddy's show, and let me just pull it up. So this one where he sold like the 62 pieces, right? He had to ship, so he lives in Canada. He had to ship pieces to Canada. He had to ship pieces to the United States. He had a couple that I think one that sold in Mexico, one that sold in Central America. He sold 3 to Europe and like 2 to Asia. And that's all without leaving his house. Like, he's got truly an international business. And like, you know, it's not to like sugarcoat it and say like it's going to be easy, right? It's not easy. Right. You still have to learn how to market. It's still really hard to grow a business. It's a complete pain in the butt.
But it's never been easier.
No, well, the point is, how many businesses do you know of where you guys can totally create the entire thing? You don't have to wait for some injection mold from China or get a patent or, you know, hit some 1,000 minimum. You guys are capable of creating whatever you create. You don't need anyone's help. No one gets in the way. You're a silo, and then you're able to go and sell that internationally. There's not a lot of businesses that are like that, right? So that part's awesome. The tough part is you need to learn how to market, and that's a couple year grind, right? It's a grind.
But you have those levels, and that I really appreciate.
Yeah, we teach you. We teach you for sure.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, looks like Thomas has got another question. Go ahead, Thomas. Or did you raise your hand accidentally, Thomas? I don't know. But if you
no, I'm here.
Okay, good. Yeah, go
ahead. So I was just wondering, I started to create a website. I mean, it was created by a student who wanted to do something at the high school I used to teach at. And so I just kind of took it over, and I haven't done anything with it. And obviously it's not complete. If I went with you, how do you guys make the websites, or do you help me finish the one I started? Or
yeah, so we provide the website. All you have to do is upload a logo, put in the About Me section, upload all your pieces, title them, price them, decide what media types you want, and that's it. You're done. Then it's right into marketing. Most people get their websites with us up in 14 days or less.
Oh, okay.
And we potentially, if you don't want to do it at all, we actually have like an in-house team that can do it for you. But we don't do that for free. We charge an extra fee for that.
Right. So, but are you the hosting site as well?
Yep.
And there's obviously a fee to get things going. So I'll learn more about that.
Yeah.
So the second is, if I created a collective, my website, not just me, but some other artists, do they all have to pay a separate fee, or
no, not at all. Once you're on there, you can essentially, you can operate as a gallery if you're so inclined, right?
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
One of my dreams. Okay. Well, thank you. That's good.
Awesome. All right. We'll get in touch, Thomas. Thank you.
Okay.
I got a really interesting question in What's Up, Eddie. I see your comment too. Love to hang loose there. But how many hours a week do I have to spend on marketing to get results? Crystal ball question, Tamara. There's no magic formula that works for everybody. It's less about how many hours a week you can give me and more about, if you can give me 5 hours a week, great. Give me 5 hours a week for 52 weeks a year. Okay. That's it. Give me 5 hours a week for 52 weeks a year. That's the ball game. So it's less about the number of hours and more about doing it consistently all year long. And, I laugh about this all the time, but artists and photographers and marketing are no different than New Year's resolutions and that gym membership. What ends up happening? January, you hit that gym membership hard. You're going 3 days a week. You're in there. You're awesome. You're sweating it out. Then what happens? February comes along and it gets cold. And then all of a sudden, you're not going at all, right? That is exactly the perfect analogy for artists and photographers in their marketing. This is going to be my year. I'm really going to take it seriously. I'm going to start marketing. What do? You work at it for like a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months. You don't get the results. You get frustrated and you quit, rinse and repeat a year or 2 years later. So that's a ball game. Seen that play out time and time again. Happy Friday, guys. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend, and enjoy it. Hope to see many of you on the inside. Eric, to just join, you totally missed the session. This is the last minute. Sorry about that. Bad timing. But I'm going to send everyone a replay anyway, so you can watch that. And thanks, guys.